Welcome to the complete setup guide for superior Telegram signals copier for cTrader. In this video we will go through everything, step by step, from creating your Telegram credentials, to installing the desktop application, to adding the cBot to a cTrader chart, and finally confirming that your first signal copies through correctly. Nothing is skipped, so you can follow along from a completely fresh start, even if you have never used an automated robot before. So what does this software actually do? It watches the Telegram channels and groups you follow, and reads the trade signals posted in them. It works out the symbol, the direction, the entry price, the stop loss and the take profit levels from the message. It then sizes the position according to your own risk rules, and sends the trade to your cTrader account within moments of the message arriving. There is no manual reading, no typing, and no guessing during fast markets. The system is made of two parts that work together. The first is the desktop application, which signs into your Telegram account and reads the channels you choose. The second is the cBot, which runs on a chart inside cTrader and actually executes and manages the trades. The two talk to each other only on your own machine, over a local address. Nothing about your account is sent anywhere else. Both parts must be running for signals to flow. Let us look at the main features, starting with signal reading. You can follow any number of Telegram channels or groups at once. The recognition engine understands a wide variety of signal formats, several languages, and buy and sell wording written in many different ways. It handles entry zones and ranges as well as single prices, and it reads several take profit levels from one message. Signals posted as pictures are read using built-in text recognition. Any channel can be paused and resumed on its own, without affecting the others. Next, risk and position sizing. This is the part that protects your account, so it is worth understanding. You can copy the same lot size the signal states, or ignore it completely and use a fixed lot of your own. You can size by a percentage of balance, equity, or free margin, or by a fixed money amount you are willing to risk on each trade. There is also lot size per 1000 of balance, per symbol fixed lots, per symbol multipliers, and minimum and maximum limits, so a single signal can never open something far larger than you intended. Now, protection and safety. Equity protection lets you set a maximum daily loss, as a percentage or as a money amount, and optionally close everything and stop trading when that limit is reached. There is a maximum total drawdown, a hard equity stop limit, and margin call protection. You can also set a maximum daily profit, so the robot stops for the day once you are comfortably ahead. Trading windows can be set for each day of the week, and symbols can be included or excluded individually. The fourth group is trade management, which is everything that happens after a trade is open. You can move to break even automatically, and trail the stop in points or in money terms. You can take partial profits at up to 3 separate levels. Basket rules work across every copied trade at once, closing them together at a chosen profit or loss. Stop and target levels can be kept hidden from the broker and managed by the robot instead. Follow-up messages from your provider, such as move to break even, or close half, are also understood and applied. Before we start, here is what you will need. First, cTrader installed, with an account you can trade on. A demo account is perfect while you are testing, and I would strongly recommend starting there. Second, a Windows PC or a virtual private server that stays switched on, because the desktop application has to keep running for signals to be read. Third, your own Telegram account, already a member of the channels or groups you want to copy. And fourth, a few minutes to create free Telegram API credentials, which we will do right now. Step 1. The desktop application connects to Telegram the same way any Telegram app does, through Telegram's own official interface. To use it you need your own credentials, which Telegram issues free of charge. Open my.telegram.org in a browser and log in with the phone number of the Telegram account you want to use for copying. Click API Development Tools. Fill in an app title and a short name, which can be anything at all, and submit the form. Telegram then shows you an app API ID, which is a number, and an app API hash, which is a long string of letters and numbers. Copy both of those somewhere safe. A quick word about those credentials, because people are understandably careful here. The API ID and hash simply identify the application to Telegram. They are not your Telegram password, they do not give anyone access to your messages on their own, and they never leave your own computer. If anybody ever asks you to send them somewhere, that is not us, and you should not do it. Step 2. Run the installer you downloaded, and launch the application. It opens on the dashboard. On a fresh installation this will be empty, because no Telegram account is connected yet and no signals have arrived. The screenshots you will see in this video show a system that is already running, so that every element is visible. The sidebar down the left-hand side is how you move around the application. There are 5 screens: Dashboard, Trade Orders, Signal Log, Manage Providers, and Connections. We will visit each of them. Step 3. Open Connections in the sidebar. This screen holds the Telegram sign-in form. Enter the API ID and API hash you generated in Step 1. Enter the phone number of that same Telegram account, including the country code, so for example +44, then the rest of the number. Click Send Code. Telegram will send a login code to your Telegram application, not by text message, so check Telegram itself. Type that code in. If you have two-step verification enabled on your Telegram account, you will be asked for that password as well. At the top right of the window there are 2 status indicators, and they are the quickest health check you have. The first one, Telegram, turns green when your Telegram account is signed in and the channels are being watched. The second, labeled EA Node, turns green when the cBot inside cTrader has connected to the desktop application. Both need to be green. If either one is gray or red, signals will not reach your account, and that is the first thing to check whenever something does not copy. Step 4. Now we tell the application which channel to copy. Open Manage Providers in the sidebar, and click Add New Provider at the top right. The application lists the channels and groups your Telegram account is already a member of, so pick the one you want to copy from that list. Give it a name you will recognize later, especially if you plan to follow several. Save it, and the provider appears in the table with the status of active. From that moment on, new messages posted in that channel are read as they arrive. Step 5. Click Settings next to a provider to open its own rules. This matters because different channels behave differently. You can filter symbols, so that a channel which posts everything only gets copied on the instruments you actually want to trade. You can control the lot size for that specific provider. You can choose which kinds of messages to act on, such as new trades only, or also closes and modifications. And you can add custom keywords for a provider whose wording is unusual, so their particular style is understood correctly. It is worth being clear about where each setting lives, because this is the single most common source of confusion. Anything about reading messages, which channels to follow, and what counts as a signal, lives in the desktop application, under each provider. Anything about how the trade is actually sized, protected, and managed on your account lives in the cBot parameters inside cTrader. In short, the application decides what a signal is, the cBot decides what to do with it. Step 6. Now we install the robot itself. The cBot comes as a single file ending in .algo. Close cTrader first, then double-click that file. cTrader installs it automatically, and there is nothing to copy into folders by hand. Open cTrader again, go to the Automate section, and you will find Superior Telegram to cTrader Signals Copier in the list of cBots. If it is not there, check that cTrader was fully closed when you double-click the file, and try once more. Step 7. Open any chart in cTrader. The symbol and the time frame genuinely do not matter, because the cBot trades whatever the signals tell it to, not the chart it happens to be sitting on. Many people simply use a chart they never look at. From the Automate section, add an instance of the cBot to that chart, then press play to start it. You only need one running instance. Do not add it to several charts at once, or the same signal can be acted on more than once. Step 8, and the parameters. Open the cBot instance and you will see the parameters grouped and numbered, which makes them far less intimidating than the long list first suggests. Group 1, Core Operations, holds the connection. The API URL points at the desktop application on your own machine, and the default is correct for almost everyone. Account name is simply a label. Group 4, Filtering and Scheduling, is where you decide what and when. Symbols to copy can be left empty to accept everything, or filled in to restrict it. Below that are the trading windows, including a separate one for each day of the week, and a weekend switch for instruments that trade on Saturdays and Sundays. Whatever you change, remember to click Apply. This is Group 2, Risk and Exposure, and it is the group that matters most. The first setting, Lot Size Type, decides how every single trade is sized, and the settings underneath it are simply the values that each mode uses. Same lot size copies whatever the signal states. Fixed lot ignores the signal and always uses your own number. The percentage modes work out the volume from your balance, equity, or free margin together with the stop distance. Risk per trade in money does the same thing from a fixed cash amount. And lot size per 1000 grows your position gradually as the account grows. Set the mode first, then fill in the one value that mode uses. Let us spend a moment on how the percentage modes actually calculate, because this is where most questions come from. The volume is your risk money divided by the stop distance multiplied by the value of 1 point for that instrument. The consequence is that a wide stop produces a small position, and a tight stop produces a large one, for exactly the same risk percentage. Gold is the classic example. A stop $11 away is over 1,000 points, which is far more expensive per lot than a 30 pip stop on a currency pair, so the correct gold volume is naturally much smaller. If the calculation lands below your broker's minimum volume, the minimum is used, because nothing smaller can be traded. And if a signal arrives with no stop at all, the default stop points value is used as the fallback. Test all of this on demo first, and compare the sizes against what you expected to see. Group 3 covers stops, targets and trailing. Replicate take profit and replicate stop loss decide whether the levels in the message are used at all. If they are, the multiplier and offset settings let you widen them, tighten them, or shift them by a fixed number of points, which is useful when a provider's stops are consistently too tight for your broker's spread. Below that is a section for your own levels in points, which apply regardless of what the signal said. That is also where break-even and trailing live. Break-even in points moves the stop to your entry once the trade is that far ahead, and the profit buffer leaves a few points of profit behind rather than exactly break-even. The same settings exist again in money terms further down, if you prefer to think in cash. Just below that is the partial closure section. Here you can close part of a position at up to 3 separate profit levels, each with its own percentage of the position to close. So you might close a third of the trade at the first target, another third at the second, and let the rest run. There are matching settings on the loss side as well, if you prefer to reduce a losing position in stages rather than close it outright. Leave every one of these at 0 and no partial closing happens at all, which is the default. The basket sections treat all of your copied trades as a single group. You can set a basket take profit, a basket stop loss, a basket break even and a basket trailing rule, expressed either as a percentage, as a money amount, or in average points across the group. When the group as a whole reaches the level you set, every copied trade is closed together. This is particularly useful when a provider opens several positions on the same idea, because you are then managing the outcome of the idea rather than each individual ticket. Symbol mapping solves a very common problem. Signal providers write gold, your broker calls it XAUUSD, and some brokers add a prefix or a suffix to every symbol name. The prefix and suffix boxes handle the simple cases automatically. The custom mappings box handles the rest, written as pairs, for example the provider's name equals your broker's name, separated by commas. If a signal is being skipped with a message about an unknown symbol, this is almost always the setting that fixes it. Further down are the protection and notification groups. The daily drawdown settings let you cap the loss you are willing to take in a single day, measured from balance or from equity, in percentage or money terms, with a reset hour you can set to match your own trading day. The hard equity stop limit is an absolute floor for the account. Maximum daily profit does the opposite job, stopping for the day once you are comfortably ahead. Notifications can be sent by email, as a push message to your phone, as a daily summary at a time you choose, or as an emergency alert when equity falls to a level you specify. Finally, Group 6 holds the file identifier and the switch that shows or hides the panel on the chart. Step 9. With the cBot running you get a panel directly on the chart, and this is your control room. The top block shows the status, which should read connected, the latency to the desktop application in milliseconds, the prop firm mode, whether stealth mode is on, the daily drawdown so far, how many trades are open and how many of those were copied, the basket profit or loss, and your wins and losses. Underneath are the buttons. Toggle stealth mode hides your stops and targets from the broker. Cycle prop firm steps through the presets. Pause copier stops new signals while still managing what is already open. Close copied trades closes only what the cBot opened. And panic close all does exactly what it says, immediately, on the whole account. Underneath the chart, the Algo tab is where the cBot writes its log, and that log is the first place to look if anything behaves unexpectedly. Before you rely on any of this, prove the whole chain end to end. Create your own private Telegram channel, add it as a provider, and post a very simple signal into it yourself, such as by EURUSD. Watch the signal log in the desktop application, which should show the message being read. Then watch the Algo tab in cTrader, which should show the cBot receiving it and placing the order. A position should appear within a second or two. Once you have seen that happen on demo, you know every link in the chain works. Now let us walk through the application itself, starting with the dashboard. The 4 cards across the top show your total balance live from the trading account, your floating profit and loss with the number of open trades, the total number of signals processed since installation, and how many providers are currently active. Underneath, top providers ranks the channels you follow by signal count and win rate, which over time tells you honestly which ones are worth keeping. Next to it, the profit and loss history draws your equity curve. Generate report at the top right exports the history if you want to keep your own records. The application is available in 7 languages: English, Spanish, Russian, French, German, Portuguese and Chinese. Choose one from the selector at the top and the entire interface changes immediately, including the menus and the table headings. The setting is remembered, so it will still be in your language the next time you open the application. Next to the language selector is the theme toggle, which switches the whole application between light and dark. If you keep the application open all day next to your charts, dark mode is considerably easier on the eyes. Every screen supports it, and the choice is remembered between sessions. The trade orders screen is a live monitor of everything the copier has opened, and a set of one-click actions across the top. You can close all winning positions, all losing positions, all buys, all sells, or simply everything, without touching cTrader at all. The delete buttons only clear rows from this table, they do not close anything, so they are safe to use for tidying up. The table itself shows the ticket number, the time it was executed, the action, the symbol, which provider it came from, and its status. The signal log is the honest record of what the application read and what it decided. Every row shows the time, which provider it came from, the action it was understood as, the symbol, the status, and the original message text as it was posted. This is where you look when a signal did not copy. If the message is in the log but the status is not executed, the application read it and the cBot rejected it, which usually points at a filter or a risk limit. If the message is not in the log at all, the provider settings filtered it out before it ever got that far. Manage providers is where you look after your channels over time. Each row shows the provider's name and ID, whether it is active, its win rate and how many signals it has sent. Pause is the one to remember. If a provider goes through a bad patch, or starts posting in a way you do not want to follow, pause it rather than deleting it. The history and statistics are kept, and you can resume with a single click. Settings opens that provider's own rules, and delete removes it completely. Now troubleshooting, starting with the connection. If the EA node indicator is not green, work through 4 things in order. First, is the desktop application actually running? It must stay open for anything to work. Second, is the cBot instance started, with the play button pressed, rather than just added to the chart? Third, does the API URL in the cBot parameters match the address the application is listening on, which is port 5011 by default? And fourth, look at the Algo tab underneath the chart, where the cBot prints exactly what it is trying to connect to and what happened. Second, Telegram itself. Remember that the login code is delivered inside the Telegram application, not by text message, and that catches almost everybody the first time. If you have 2-step verification switched on, you will be asked for that password as a separate step. When adding a provider, you can only pick channels your account is already a member of, so join the channel in Telegram first and then come back. And if a private channel disappears from the list, check that you are still a member of it. And third, signals and lot sizes. If the signal is in the log but was not executed, the cBot rejected it, so check your symbol filters, your trading window and your risk limits. If the signal never reached the log, the provider's own settings filtered it out. A message about an unknown symbol means symbol mapping, so set the prefix, the suffix, or a custom mapping. If the volume is smaller than you expected, remember that a wide stop always produces a smaller position for the same risk percentage, and that the broker's minimum volume applies underneath everything. And if absolutely nothing is happening, check the trading window and the day of the week settings before anything else. Let us recap the whole thing. Create your Telegram API ID and hash. Install and open the desktop application. Connect your Telegram account under Connections. Add a provider for each channel you want to copy, and set that provider's own filters and lot rules. Install the cBot, add it to any chart, and set the API URL, the lot size type and your protection limits. Press play, confirm that both status indicators are green, and then test the whole chain on a demo account before you use real money. That is the complete setup. From here, the two things to remember are that both parts must keep running, so a virtual private server is worth considering if your computer sleeps or restarts, and that you should stay on demo until the sizing and the behavior are exactly what you expect. Thank you for watching. If anything in this guide did not match what you are seeing on your own screen, get in touch through the support channel and we will help you get it working.